All right, now, Buck, tell us about the Carolina Senior Football Showcase. Now, so if you're an up-and-coming high school guy and you want to have guys like you and Reggie Walker and Mountaineer Mike talking about you on Talking About Sports in years to come, how do you get into the discussion? How do you get to be a better player? How do you get noticed?
Well, so what happens is a lot of guys think they're going to be Division I. I mean, I'm going D1 or bust.
My son thought that.
And then you may think FCS and bust. Well, after signing day, there is a lot of guys that are very talented, and they may be in areas where scouts don't go see them. And what we've created is the Carolina Senior Football Showcase for D2, D3, and NAIA kids that can come out one day. We work them out. Reggie was there last year. We really get them in a position to be seen by these college coaches. We'll have about 30, maybe 35.
My son played D2 football. I wish what you have is gold.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of parents who are going to be looking at this. First of all, as a parent whose son played college football, make sure your son is going to class and studying.
Yeah, exactly.
But beyond that, I really like what you and Reggie are doing with this because there is scholarship money at 1AA, D2, and NAI as well.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, we had an example of a kid last year out of Monroe, North Carolina. Had a couple of things that he was looking at. I talked to his dad, Breonte Baker, a kid that was a really good player in the area. He ended up at Manchester University. He's going to be starting there for him this year, running track. Pretty much got his college paid for. Now, college is expensive, and that's why I try to tell people, get them to the showcase.
It's called a Parent Plus loan. I'm paying it.
Yeah, the reason I got it, my coach did it in college, Terry Donahue, when I finished, and I went out and worked his, and I had a bunch of kids from my group end up getting opportunities, and I had to bring that back to Charlotte.
Yeah, and I was out there last year helping instruct the kids, and, my message was twofold, and the main piece of my message, and we talked a lot about this, is I told these kids, just because you're a great player around here, that you still may get missed.
Where you go, everyone's a great player where they came from.
But my point, what I told them is, don't be the local legend that never left. Go somewhere, go to school. If you choose to come back, that's fine. But go somewhere and go to school. And just because you're not playing high major Division I football doesn't mean you're not a good football player.
No.
If you're good, they'll find you.
Absolutely. We had a kid at my son Adam Casey played at Brevard, North Carolina, went to Mount Pleasant High School, Mount Pleasant, North Carolina, and he had a teammate named Michael Gruber who Clemson and South Carolina were looking at, but he didn't have the grade, so he somehow found his way to Brevard. And this guy was in kind of bowl they had in Charleston at the Citadel, and this guy got a lot of looks, could have played some pro ball, but went into private business with his family.
You bring up a good point. That's the one thing I want to see our kids do a better job of. Don't get to your senior year and say, well, I'm going to improve my GPA 5 points. Or
that's right.
It starts on the first day of ninth grade.
Exactly. Start in middle school.
Build your resume.
Build a good foundation, because these coaches, we're going to have some high-quality schools here that are highly academic, $60,000 a year schools. If you are good enough and you can play, they're going to sign you.
And I'll make another point. When you start thinking about these kids and the future and what level, and you know this because you put this group of guys together. Some of the guys that were out there instructing last year were former Pro Bowlers, Super Bowl champions, 10-plus years experience in the NFL.
Quality evaluators.
But guess what they're all doing right now? They have a job because they have degrees that allow them to work
productive
jobs
citizens
and open the door for those opportunities. Yeah. So at the end of the day, what the biggest thing that I think Charles, because this is Charles's thing, I just try to go out there and instruct.
No, it's everybody.
But what those kids at the end of the day want to understand is, we want you to go to school. You don't have to become an NFL player. Just go to school, get that degree. Paperwork, man.
Yeah.
Get a degree so you can pay off, if you owe anything in college, pay that off. Have a job. Don't be relying on your mom and dad to pay the bills. Believe me, that stuff gets old quick. Yeah. And, Buck, I can tell you this, through the recruiting process, NAIA school like Bluefield College and Bluefield, part in West Virginia, part in Virginia, they offered more scholarship money than some Division II schools. Some NAIA schools do that.
Yeah, they may give you grant and aid, they may give you scholarships, but they work on ways to get you there. And if you have high academics, they really try to help you with that. And I think that's going to be really key when you look at this opportunity. All I'll say is this. I kind of put this together because God put it on my heart, but there's a lot of guys that help do it, and people, my wife included, who and there's so many guys that when I brought it back were like, when can we do it? Where do you need me? And I think that's the most important thing that I saw. They saw the same thing that I did. Every year getting hit up by people that you wanted to help but you didn't know how to. This event does that for them, and that's why I want to keep doing it here in the Carolinas.
And Buck, because I have issues remembering things, can you let everybody know when it is? Because I need to know what my schedule's going to be. That's the reason why I asked.
It's March 3rd. At Charlotte Latin School, starts at 8. The kids will have to be there early. Yeah, it starts at 8 o'clock. We'll run all day. We have the guys on the field doing their portion, and then afterwards, the college folks will be there. There'll be admissions directors there, and if they want to sign you,
get there early.
They can. Yeah.
Check it out on Twitter at Carolinas FB Showcase. At Carolinas FB Show is the Twitter handle.
All right,
check that out.
Before we go to break, Mike, you have some breaking news from our trade tracker, if you will.
Yeah, it appears as ESPN Adrian Wojnarowski is
Reputable.
very reporting that Cleveland's going to send Dwayne Wade back to Miami.
Does LeBron know about that?
I would assume.
Does Dwayne Wade know about that?
Either he does, or at this point the Cavs just don't care because they know he's going to be gone after this season.
I'm Dwayne Wade. I'm celebrating that.
Absolutely.
Getting out of Cleveland. And by the way, it's warm in Miami right now.
And he's the greatest player in the history of the franchise.
He's
down
used
there.
to all the distractions down there.
It's fine for him. He's still in the playoff hunt.
That's right.
So,
I think a very
And Deion
underrated
Waiters
coach,
is hurt,
Eric
so
Spoelstra.
might as well get him back down there.
I think Spoelstra is a very underrated coach. So we've got that, more NBA trade talk, and maybe how it impacts the Charlotte Hornets. We're coming back with more Talking About Sports from the Dilworth Neighborhood Group.
We about to eat.
Can't wait.